Okay. All right, so this is the one where we make the Pokédex, where we're making those calls out to that Pokemon API. Okay, so cool. So the first thing should be really easy by this point in the class. Okay, we're just creating a Pokemon class. And I tell you exactly what the attributes are, and then we know we have to make a string method. So as you can see here, we have just our normal class Pokemon. We've got our init constructor. We have all the different attributes that can be set here: attack, name, number, type 1, and type 2. I guess num is probably the ID, okay? And then we have a string method that just prints out all of the information. So ID colon, and then the /n gives you a return, a new line character. And then we have name, type 1, type 2, and attack. Okay, so that's all there is for the Pokemon class. All right, did anybody have any questions about that? That should have been very easy at this point in the semester. So if you're having trouble doing the Pokemon class, then you're in very, very big trouble, I would say. Okay, so now on to the Pokédex class. All right, so we know that the Pokédex class in the constructor is where we're setting up the tkinter widgets. Okay, so we're going to have our self.window equals tk. And don't forget, we need to import. We need to do this from tkinter import star. Okay, and basically all our constructor is going to do is it's just going to set up all these components. We have our label telling them to enter in the Pokemon's name. We have the entry, which will presumably be where they type in the Pokemon's name. Then we're going to have a button that says retrieve Pokedata. And we're going to change that button to this click handler, which we're going to define in a second. Okay. And then we're going to have another label that just displays the results of whatever it is the Pokedata is that's returned. Okay. So then we initialize all that, pack it all together, and then do our main loop. Okay, so that's all the constructor does. Okay, our click handler, okay, here's what our click handler does. Okay, the first thing that we do is we're going to go grab whatever it was the user typed in to this entry. Okay, so the entry is where they're typing in the name of the Pokemon that they want. Okay, so we're going to get that and we're going to convert it to lowercase because the Pokemon API wants everything in lowercase. Okay, then we're going to pass that value that they typed in to our search function. Okay, we haven't written our search function yet, but that's what this line right here is. Okay, and if it returns us an answer, then great. If it throws some kind of an exception, then we're going to handle that by basically printing out whatever the exception is. So if there's some sort of error because like maybe the user types in a Pokemon that doesn't exist, for example, then maybe we'll have that throw an exception and then we can handle it and set the text to whatever that exception is, Pokemon not found or something like that. Okay. So then if we don't get any exceptions, so in other words, if this works right here, then this is where we're going to go through and parse through the results that we got here in answer. Okay. And so there's a few things that we need to do. There are some easy ones like the name and the Pokemon number are just right there, answer sub name, answer sub ID. Okay. And that's, again, don't forget that was given to you here at the end in this table. Okay. So we see name is data sub name, Pokemon is data sub ID. I didn't call my variable data, I called it answer, but otherwise it's the same. Okay. And okay, so now for attack, okay, here's what it says about attack. It says it's inside the data substats list. You have to loop through data substats, find the item in the list that has data substats sub I substats sub name equals attack, and then get the value of data stats I base stat if that's attack. So that's basically what we've done right here is we're looping through the stats. If the stat name equals attack, then we're going to set this variable attack equal to base stat, I base stat. Okay, so that's basically what this is, just translating this description here into code. Okay, And so that will give us the attack. Okay, name is easy, ID is easy. For the type, okay, the type is data types 0 type name. So there we go. It's types 0 type name. There it is for the type 1. Now the type 2 doesn't always exist because not every Pokemon has a second type. And so what you have to do is you have to check and see, all right, is the types list, does it have more than one element? Okay, so that's what this line right here does. So we say if that types list has a length that's larger than 1, so in other words, it's 2, then we're going to go ahead and fill out answer subtypes 1 type name. So see this line right here looks very similar to this. The only difference is the 0 versus the 1. Okay. Now that we have collected the attack, the name, the Pokenum, the Poketype 1, and the Poketype 2, we can use that to initialize our Pokemon object, which is right here. That's what this line is. Okay. And then all we have to do is set our results to the string value of that Pokemon object, because we already went to the trouble earlier up here of defining what that string value looks like. Okay. All right, so then the last thing we need to do is we just need to define our search function, okay? And all our search function is going to do is it's going to accept this value, okay? And that value is going to be whatever the user typed in. We're going to construct a URL. So the URL is just going to be this pokeapi.co/api/v2/pokemon/, and then it's going to be whatever they typed in. So if they type in Pikachu or Ditto or whatever, then it's going to go right here, okay? If you execute that and you get a 200 response, then that means that the request was successful. So you can go ahead and get the text of the response. That's what r.text equals. Okay. And you can call the JSON.loads method, which we, is one of the points of this assignment, to actually parse that JSON string into a Python data structure. And then we return the data structure. If we don't get a status code of 200, then we're going to go ahead and throw the exception and say, hey, we weren't able to find that Pokemon. And so that would happen if somebody tried to type in a Pokemon that didn't exist. Like if I typed in Bob, there is no Pokemon named Bob. So that would throw this exception. Okay. So there you go. That's it. That's the entire assignment. It is 59 lines of code. Okay. And we can see that if we go ahead and run it, okay, so Pikachu, retrieve. All right, we get information about Pikachu. Notice that this one only has the electric type. It doesn't have a type 2. So this is blank. Okay, I know there's a Pokemon named Ditto. Okay, so this one there's the information about that. Okay. Oh, it works with numbers. So if I put in 130, well, here, let me see what 133 is. Oh, cool. Yeah, who knew? All right, so you can do it with the number as well. All right, and get back Eevee and stuff like that. Okay, nice, good catch. I wonder what the largest Pokemon is. Is there a 1,000? No. Let's try 800. Ooh, there's an 800. Necrozma, psychic type, with an attack of 107. Wailord. 321. Okay. All right. Well, at any rate, so there you go. There you have it. There's a lot of Pokemon, but that's basically the assignment.